Hi there, it's Susan, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. We're going to do some fall DIYs, and I hope that you like them and will think about making them yourself. Hi there, friends, and it's Susan here, and today I promised you a DIY for a few fall decor pieces. The first one we're going to start out with is an old Magnolia wreath that I had laying around the basement, and I thought I would give it a refresh and spray paint it. I found this really nice matte color in Walmart, and what I did was I sprayed all the leaves, let it dry, and then I just brushed a little bit of a different color on top just to give it some dimension and just make it look less fake. I try to spray paint the under layers first. To get spray paint off your fingers, it is quite difficult, so I use this Goo Gone and it came right off. So here I'm just adding a little bit of dry brushing, and I'm using the color Linen. So I'm really pleased the way it turned out, and I just added a little bit of this velvet ribbon in brown. So now for the second DIY, it's a recreation of a terrain pumpkin candle. I saw it on an Instagram account, and I thought I'd try to recreate it. I'm using this fast dry spackle, and I'm going to add it to the outside of this old pumpkin candle that I had. It was empty, so I didn't even have to melt the candle. So it is quite time consuming. And now if you're just going to do the outside of this little pumpkin, it's going to be a real quick DIY, but if you're going to add a candle inside, it's going to take you a bit longer. So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of using my fingers here to add the spackle to the outside of the pumpkin. And now I'm going to do the same to the lid. And here's the picture of the pumpkin candle. Now, the best way to get the candle out of the jar. Here's one from Mainstays at Walmart, and I got a cheaper candle just to try this out, and I'm just boiling it so that it will melt. Now, it's the first time, well, it's not the first time I've made a candle. When I was a teenager, I used to make a lot of candles, but I have forgotten how to do it. So I bought these wicks, and I tried putting some wax on them, and they floated right to the top. So I had to redo this and clean it all up, and then I glue gunned the little wicks to the bottom of this container, and then I just curled the wicks up onto a pencil, and I put the melted wax into a plastic cup just to make it easier to pour it in here instead of pouring it out of the candle container. So I let this dry for about, I think, 2 hours. Then I just cut the wicks. And now we're going to paint the outside. Because it's just spackle, I mean, it can rub off. So I'm just sealing it with this paint. Adding a little baking soda. I kind of wish I had a different pumpkin container, because the one by Terrain was a way flatter pumpkin candle container, and this one is an old one of mine that I had got, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. And now you can also, if you like this look, you can also do it to any candle that you have. The third DIY, all I'm going to do is take this lamp, and it's a beautiful lamp by Hearth and Hand. The dark green wasn't what I really wanted for my home right now. Who knows in the future? Too late, I painted it. So I started off taking the lampshade off. Then I'm using an old house paint of mine. Any white will do. Just for a base, like a primer almost. Adding a little bit of baking soda to give it a rougher texture. Of course, I'm too lazy to go in the garage and get the green painter's tape, so I just used a little bit of household tape. It worked out fine. Also taping up the cord at the bottom. And later on, you're going to see, after I do this white baking soda technique, when it's dry, when I paint it, I'm going to be putting some foil over the cord and over the top of the light fixture. You know why? Because I thought I was going to spray paint it. And then after, I realized I painted it by hand. I wouldn't have needed all that foil all over the place. So the paint color that I'm using is called Coffee Bean. I told you I didn't want a flat surface, like a matte surface, but I think it looks nicer like this. I mean, I could always go buy a clear gloss and spray it over, but then it's going to cost me more money. It's not worth it. And it turned out beautiful. and you can always change the color. So for my fourth and last DIY, I'm going to be recreating something that a lovely YouTuber had made, and I loved all of her DIYs that she had created, named Evelyn Hernandez, and I am copying her, and I'm going to try this out. I'm using all these paint colors, starting off with 2 Hobby Lobby pumpkins, taking the stem out of the top, and then just adding a tea light to the top, and then tracing around where you want to cut out the hole. When you do take out the foam, be careful not to go too deep, because then your candle is going to fall right through. Now, there's nothing wrong with leaving it the colors that it is, but I just liked the more neutral colors, as you know. So I'm using Territorial Beige for the small pumpkin, and I'm using tan for the large pumpkin. Adding a little baking soda to give it some texture so it doesn't, just... Now be sure to paint the little tea light. I gave it 2 coats. And like Evelyn says, be sure to paint the inside of the little hole where the tea light goes in so you don't see the foam. And now for the shorter pumpkin, I'm going to be using a little bit of Territorial Beige with a little baking soda. This color reminds me of a Sherwin-Williams paint that I used last year for a Pottery Barn dupe for my pumpkins. It looks very much the same, and it was called Pottery Urn. So this one here is called Territorial Beige. So if you just have a small project, this is perfect. So I'm so glad that you joined me today, and I'm hoping that you like these DIYs and will be trying them yourself. We will see you in my next video, friends. Take care. See you later.